Today, we're going to talk about something that might sound a little controversial, finding the laziest way to make money online. And we're going to break down a framework for finding the most efficient, highest leverage path to do just that. We're really going to challenge that whole hustle culture idea by putting the biggest business models out there to the test, all to find the one that actually puts in the most work for you. Let's get into it.
So let's start with this idea right here, because it really flips the script on what we're taught to believe. The goal isn't to just sit around and do nothing. I mean, that's not going to get you anywhere. The real goal is to be strategic. It's about looking at all your options and picking the one that gives you the best possible return on your time, on your energy. So, looking for the lazy way? It's really about looking for the smartest way.
And, this leads us to a really important question. We've all had this idea of hustle culture drilled into our heads, right? The story that the only reason you aren't a millionaire yet is because you're not working hard enough. But is that actually true? Does putting in more hours automatically mean you're going to make more money?
Well, the quick answer is a big, fat no. I mean, think about it. If raw effort was the only thing that mattered, then some of the hardest working people out there, nurses, teachers, construction workers, they'd all be the wealthiest people we know. And that fact alone proves that effort, while it's super important, it isn't the whole picture. There's got to be another piece to the puzzle, something that multiplies your effort. Something else is going on.
And here it is. This is that something else. This classic line from Warren Buffett just nails the entire point of our explainer today. The business model you pick, the vehicle, or the boat you decide to get into, is way more important than how many hours you spend rowing. Some boats are just built to go faster, to go farther, with a lot less work. And our job today is to find the business equivalent of a speedboat. So here's the game plan. We've just redefined lazy to really mean smart. Up next, we're going to lay out a 5-point framework so we can actually test these business models. Then we'll run the most popular ones through that test, see what comes out on top. And finally, we'll look at the massive opportunity this all points to. Okay, so how do we find that perfect boat without just guessing? We need a system, right? A consistent way to measure every single option. That's where this 5-point framework comes in. It's a simple, logical test we can use to score any online business on how efficient it really is. These are our 5 big criteria. We're on the hunt for a business that's got low upfront capital, sky-high scalability, super easy fulfillment, low risk, and low difficulty. Now, upfront capital, that's a big one because a huge starting cost is a massive barrier for most people. Scalability, that's the magic ingredient. It's what lets you separate your income from your time. Fulfillment is all about the daily grind. How much effort does it take just to keep the business running? Risk is your downside. Can one wrong move sink the whole ship? And finally, difficulty. How complex is this game, really? A business that aces all of these is, by definition, the smartest way to go. So let's put our first model to the test. All right, it's time to run the gauntlet. We're going to take 4 of the most popular online business models and see how they stack up against our 5-point test. Let's see how they do, starting with one you've definitely heard of. First up, dropshipping. And right away, it kind of stumbles. The upfront capital is high. Why? Because you're not really selling products at first. You're buying data. You're burning through thousands of dollars on ads just trying to find that one winning product. And the fulfillment? It's a nonstop headache. Angry customer emails about shipping delays, items being out of stock, and you have no control over any of it. And the risk? It's huge. A trend can die overnight, a competitor can swoop in, or some new tariff can completely wipe out your profits. With all the competition now, dropshipping is just getting harder. It's a fail.
All right, next up, the Social Media Marketing Agency, or SMMA. Now this one shines where dropshipping failed. The startup cost and the risk are incredibly low. It's a perfect way for a beginner to get in the game with what's called sweat equity. But look at that scalability rating, low. And that's its fatal flaw. See, because you're trading time for money, the only way to earn more is to get more clients. And every single new client adds more work, more meetings, more managing, more headaches. You're not building a system that works for you. You're basically just building yourself a more stressful 9-to-5. It's a great place to start, for sure, but it's not our lazy champion. Okay, now for the big leagues, software. Before we even get to the scorecard, this number right here tells you almost everything you need to know.
The barrier to entry isn't just a fence, it is a giant, massive wall made of cash. So this scorecard really shows you the trade-off. The scalability is very high. I mean, this is how billionaires are made. But every other category is just a complete non-starter for what we're looking for. The capital, the risk, the difficulty, they are all off the charts. You either need a personal fortune, or you have to go out and raise venture capital. You need a whole team of expensive developers. You're constantly fixing bugs, and you need a huge marketing budget to even stand a chance. It's the literal opposite of the simple, low-risk model we want.
So our last contender in this round is affiliate marketing. And again, it's cheap and low risk to get started, which is awesome. But its success really depends completely on one thing. You have to build a big, loyal audience. So it's not really a direct business model. It's more like a way to make money from a personal brand. And the fulfillment here isn't about shipping boxes. It's about constantly feeding the content machine, endless videos, post articles, just to keep your audience engaged. That can take months, sometimes years of work before you see any real money from it. It's a great skill to have, but it's not the simple, direct path we're after.
Okay, so we've looked at the others, and we've seen their big flaws. Dropshipping is too risky. SMMA doesn't really scale, software is way too hard, and affiliate marketing is a long, indirect road. And that brings us to the model that comes out as the clear winner here, a model that has been totally transformed by technology. Digital Products 2.0. The real secret here is to understand the huge difference between version 1.0 and version 2.0. You see, back in the day, creating a high-quality digital course or program was a massive undertaking. You'd have to be an established expert, spend months or even years researching and writing. Then you'd have to spend a ton of money on custom websites and platforms just to sell the thing. The barrier to entry was insane. But today, the game has totally, completely changed. This massive shift is happening because of two specific game changers. First, AI. Artificial intelligence can now research a topic, pull together expert-level information from all over the internet, and then structure and script an entire program for you. It basically does 95% of the heavy lifting. Second, hosting marketplaces. You know how Shopify made it easy for anyone to start an e-commerce store? Well, these new platforms are doing the exact same thing for knowledge products, making it free to host and sell them. The gatekeepers are gone. So let's run Digital Products 2.0 through our framework. Upfront capital, super low. You just need a couple of cheap tools. Scalability, very high. This is the holy grail. You build the asset one time and you can sell it forever with no extra work. Fulfillment, easy. AI and these new platforms have automated all the hard parts. Risk, low. Since the platforms are free, you can test an idea, and if it doesn't work, no big deal. You've lost almost nothing. And difficulty? Easy. The process is so simple now, and the best part is the competition is still incredibly low. It just aces every single test.
So according to our framework, we have found our winner. But just identifying the best model, that's only half the story. Now let's put this whole opportunity in perspective so we can see why the timing of this is so unbelievably important. When you lay it all out side by side like this, the conclusion is, well, it's pretty obvious. Just look at the other models. It's a mess of high costs, low scalability, big risks, and a ton of difficulty. They all have at least one killer flaw. And then you look at that last row for Digital Products 2.0, it's just a clean sweep. Based on our criteria, it is objectively the path of least resistance to the biggest potential reward. And this brings us to what might be the most important part of this whole thing. Timing. This industry is just getting started, and most people have no idea how simple this has all become. Getting into this now is like getting the chance to start an Amazon FBA business or a dropshipping store a decade ago, right before they blew up. It's the chance to be a pioneer in a wide open space, to get your footing before everyone else rushes in and it gets super competitive. And don't get it twisted. This isn't some tiny little niche market. It's already a massive, nearly $500 billion industry today. But that's not even the exciting part. Look at where it's going. It's projected to more than double, becoming a nearly $1 trillion industry by 2030. So you're not just getting in early, you're getting in early on an absolute tidal wave of growth. And that's where we'll end it. The framework is clear.
The winning model is clear, and the timing, well, it presents a once-in-a-decade kind of opportunity. So the decision really just comes down to this. Are you going to get in early and get yourself a real slice of the cake, or are you going to wait until everybody else catches on and you're left fighting for the crumbs? That's a decision only you can make.